that week off did be so good, honey.
Really? I'm glad to hear that, Tasha.
Well, honey, I just enjoyed my time. I didn't watch nothing. I did nothing.
So you haven't been keeping up with President Donald Trump's?
No, I wasn't. I was not looking at that dude's stuff.
Even though I'm off, I'm not really off. I still check the news. Well, let me just show you, since you haven't been keeping up.
Supposing we hit the body with a tremendous, whether it's ultraviolet or just very powerful light, and I think you said that hasn't been checked, but you're going to test it. Then I see the disinfectant, where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning? Because you see it gets on the lungs and it does a tremendous number on the lungs. So it'd be interesting to check that.
Did this dude just say inject disinfectant? Nah, he didn't say that.
Okay, all right. You already know whose turn it is to go first this week, hunty. Now, I already said I wasn't gonna call him my nickname while we in a time of trouble, because even though he clearly, in that clip that I saw, deserves that name, I'm not gonna call him that. Okay? So I'm trying. Like, it's almost like when you just about to consider someone being a reputable source and then they totally let you down. That's what that clip was. Because I was really, I'm just going to be honest with you. You know, I keep it 100 with you. I was just about to say, you know what? Maybe he's not, that dumb, or maybe he's not that crazy, or maybe he's not. Let me get on into my topics. Anyway, so after I saw that clip, I also saw a meme. And this meme, it'll be right about there. Let's put it there, right there. Okay, so I'm going to scoot right here so y'all can read it while I'm reading it, okay? And it says, an international chorus of doctors and health experts urge people not to drink or inject disinfectant. However, according to this meme, it says common vaccine ingredients include thimerosal, which is a disinfectant, and formaldehyde, which is a disinfectant. And it says basically that Donald Trump got doctors to admit that because of the disinfectants that are included in some, not all vaccines, but some vaccines are not safe, according to this meme. Now, that had me to, again, think and do a little research. And I'm like, because I really wanted to, I was like, wait a second, is that true? Like, do vaccines have freaking disinfectants in them? I'm like, hold on, wait. Like, I really had to go look this up for myself because I didn't believe it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, So I had to make sure, people. I really did. And the fact of the matter is, I went online. This is a government website, and it's the FDA. That's the Food and Drug Administration. And according to the FDA, okay, and I'm going to try to make sure I have a nice little clip for y'all. It says here on the FDA website, common ingredients in U.S. licensed vaccines. There's aluminum in some vaccines. I'm like, okay. Keep scrolling. And it says there are antibiotics in vaccines. I guess you would consider that. That would probably be a good thing to have in there. Then it says formaldehyde. in some vaccines. And I was like, whoa, whoa. Wait a second now. So I was like, wait a second now. What's up with formaldehyde? Now, formaldehyde is a disinfectant. Formaldehyde is diluted during the vaccine manufacturing process, but residual quantities of formaldehyde may be found in some current vaccines. The amount of formaldehyde present in some vaccines is so small compared to the concentration that naturally occurs in the body. I think I flipped those words around. So let me say that one more time. The amount of formaldehyde present in some vaccines is so small compared to the concentration that occurs naturally in the body that it does not pose a safety concern. Okay, so here is a problem, contradiction. It's either safe or it's not safe. However, I know that, of course, there are exceptions to the rule. I understand that they're basically saying that the level of formaldehyde is, so minute, so small that it shouldn't pose any threat. However, when he said inject disinfectants and everybody laughed at him, and then you find out that some vaccines have disinfectants in them, it's one of those things that, harkens back to Arsenio Hall, things that make you go, because you can't now say that he's an idiot or an imbecile when manufacturers are already using disinfectants in their vaccines. All right, moving on to my actual topic, and I'm gonna make it super duper quick, honey. Okay. So this article comes from Daily Mail, okay? And let me acknowledge the white folks out there. Hey, how y'all doing? Thanks for coming and stopping by. I hope you shared a video, all that good stuff. So, top NIH coronavirus immunologists under investigation for tweets that suggested that the pandemic was a genocide and was claiming doctors are letting Black patients die. So, Dr. Corbett, I do not know how to pronounce her first name. I'm not going to jack that up, Queen, so I'm just going to let that be, okay? All right, Dr. Corbett is an immunologist working with the government to develop a vaccine for the contagious coronavirus and suggested in recent posts that the pandemic could be a genocide against Black people. In a separate tweet, that she implied that doctors would overlook Black Americans if ventilators are in short supply, which would cause them to die. So it also states here, an HHS official told Fox News that career ethics officers are reviewing the matter and taking the situation very seriously. After her Twitter posts were publicized on Fox News, Dr. Corbett switched her account to private. However, screen grabs show that she posted several other comments on her Twitter page that stem back to February. After the White House Coronavirus Task Force was unveiled on February 29th, Dr. Corbett appeared contemptuous of the assembled team, writing that it was largely, quote, largely people, white men, Trump appointed to their positions as director of blah, blah institute. She theorized that they were indebted to serve Trump, not the people. When she received pushback on her post, the immunologist insisted she wasn't dismissing white men, but rather the system that they curated. So you can read this article for yourself. The fact of the matter is, she was basically saying, in a nutshell, the reason why she called it a genocide is because if it is negatively affecting Black people far more, as we now have reports basically stating that, Black people are dying at alarming rates because of COVID-19 related illnesses and underlying issues and all of these things. And if supplies are in short demand, she is sure that Black Americans will be overlooked in a system that puts preferential treatment upon lighter or white skin, which is a valid point because we've seen that in the history of the United States of America over and over again. So I suggest you go read it for yourself. The fact of the matter is, fears are mounting in the Black community all over across the U.S. Lawmakers are warning that the outbreak could hit African American citizens the hardest due to and highlighting the systemic racial inequality or inequity that exists in the current system. So even officials are already saying that that there are biases that do, underserve the Black community. And she's just, at this point, she's concerned about the fact that if push come to shove, what would officials do? Would they choose to save a life regardless of the color? Or would they choose to be like, go ahead and kick the Black people to the curb? So that is all I have for you wonderful people this week. I hope y'all had a wonderful time, hopefully getting in touch with family and friends and all of that good stuff and using Zoom or, IG Live or whatever it is that you are using to keep in close contact with the people that you love. And I'm out and I love you. Bye. Take it away, girly.
Well, thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of Nice But Feisty. I am Mandy Nice, and I'm going to get right into my topic today. For the week, actually. Just some things for you to ponder. I hope you had a wonderful time going back and viewing all of those old episodes so you can catch up today and all of that good stuff. So, as many Americans have seen that the United States government has basically bailed everyone out from Wall Street to banks to big industries, and some small businesses have finally been able to receive some relief. It seems the United States government is having a hard time infusing cash into Main Street, as Wall Street people would talk or business people would talk. They refer to Main Street as regular mom and pop, or even individuals, the average working American. And what they mean by average working American is pretty much anyone that has a 9-to-5. But people in the gig economy are now being included in this particular working man or working woman narrative as well, because when you see that the people on the front lines at this particular time, people that are called essential workers, are those who you would probably not give a second glance to because they work at a grocery store or they're driving your Uber or things of that nature. And now we truly see who makes this economy run, and it's not those at the top, it's not billionaires per se, that are the ones that really need the bailout, that need a helping hand. And there was a interesting video I saw online. This gentleman by the name of Vic, he did a wonderful and angry synopsis of what the government really needs to do. And it needs to help the middle class, the lower class, and the poor. Because to me, poverty is violence. And with this pandemic, we truly see that when you keep giving money to people that already have billions and millions of dollars, that's not what's making the economy continuously to generate new revenue or even new income to even those big businesses. How are you going to get anyone to come into your restaurant when they're sick and at home? Now, I understand that delivery services are ramping up, which is good. But do you see the ultra rich ordering from restaurants? No, you do not. They probably still have their private chef coming to their house. Or if not, they have their private chef doing the meal prep and then dropping it off at their house. So the fact of the matter is, we need to really understand that it is truly the middle class, the lower class, and what's considered the poor in the United States of America that not only need a handout right now, but a leg up. And if you, anyone watching can attest to, is that we are seeing that our United States economy is grinding to a halt because everyone seems to have gotten a bailout except for average working Americans of all colors. Case in point, my topic for this week is talking about a cruise liner, and cruise liners have actually also now benefited from the bailout. They have gotten money because they've been hit hard in these horrible economic times, but so is Main Street. So are average working Americans. So are gig economists. They are also hit as hard. And if the average American person does not see a bailout soon, it doesn't matter how much money you give to the top 1%, there'll be no amount of money that will help to get this economy going if you do not invest in the middle class, in the lower class, and the poor. So here's my topic. All right. So scrutiny is coming after Carnival, the cruise ship company. And this article is from Bloomberg Business Week. And it states that even after Carnival became aware of the potential coronavirus case, passengers say that staffs on board tried to keep the fun going, allowing the guests to continue to eat and drink at the buffets and bars, hang out in the saunas, and attend shows, including an operatic performance called Bravo. And this was the princess, or the cruise line princess. So basically, Carnival is now coming under fire from guests and also other governments. For example, in Australia, the police there are looking into criminal cases against the cruise liners under the Carnival banner because they suspect that staff there, before disembarking or even using their port, were not truthful about having corona exposure on their ships. So again, at this particular time, Carnival, I'm pretty sure at this point they've probably gotten some money at this particular time from the United States government, but that's not going to help at the end of this pandemic when their people are living basically not just paycheck to paycheck anymore. They won't have income. So how is your cruise liner going to get guests, or how is your cruise liner going to really restart itself when you have no one that wants to take a ship? Not just because they don't want to, because they're afraid. No. It'll be because they're too poor. They have no money. And I don't see a lot of rich people going on these cruise liners. It's the middle class and people that have scraped and scrapped and saved just so they could go on a cruise once in their lifetime. So, with all of that being said, because if I don't stop myself, I'm going to be really angry. With all of that being said, as you are in your homes, most people who are sheltering still at home, or people that are trying to jumpstart the economy, because people who don't seem to have the average American worker, safety truly at the heart and mind of their whole agenda, who don't seem to care if people are healthy or not. Here's what I would suggest you do. If you are an average working American or a gig economist and you are at home right now and you are sheltered in place and you're not sure if you're going to have a job, even though they're furloughing you, or if they say that they plan on bringing you back or not, this is what I would suggest you do. Take this time and call your congressman, call your senator, and tell them the average working American now needs a bailout. Just like the big, huge banks, just like Wall Street speculators, just like all of these other businesses. The average working American who keeps the U.S. economy going, they now need a bailout. And it's not It's not even really a bailout. This is taxpayer dollars. You've already paid into the system. So now you're asking the system that you help with your tax dollars to now give a little something back to you so that when this is over with, you can get back to work and get back to work healthy and strong and happy. Okay? All right. Bye. Well, thanks so much for tuning into another episode of Nice But Feisty with Mandy Nice and Tasha Feisty. Ooh, oh, yeah. Have a good one. And one more thing. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. You know you need to share that video. Make sure you share it though. For real, for real. Okay?